child abuse, and you are morally obligated to attempt to prevent it. If it's your own children being abused, then act accordingly. Let's say your kid's school emailed you to announce that every day after lunch, your sixth grader was going to get punched in the face by a teacher. How would you respond to that? That's precisely how you should respond when they tell you that your kids have to wear masks on the soccer field. That is unacceptable, it is dangerous, and we should act like it, because it is. But too few of us have responded like that. We have been shamefully passive in the face of all of this. As our cities get crazier and harder to live in, so many of us have just decided to run away, avoid conflict. I can't deal with it. Move to the suburbs, flee to Florida. Get as far away as possible from the hyper-aggressive zealots changing everything for the worst overnight. You don't want to deal with them. So many have decided to start over somewhere else. But why? The people making these demands don't own America. They didn't build America. They didn't build anything. They can't. And they're not allowed to wreck it. And if we let them wreck our cities, why do we think they will stop there? If they can turn Brooklyn and San Francisco into uninhabitable indoctrination camps, why can't they do it to Naples or Oklahoma City or Coeur d'Alene or wherever you're planning to go? They can do it, and they will do it. Theirs is an evangelical faith. They will not stop until we make them stop. Fighting back is the only option. If we don't resist, there is no escape. So how do you resist? The first step is to say the obvious. Say it loudly, say it often. This is not about science. This is about political power. If it was about science, Fauci and Kamala Harris would be happy to hear, for example, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, discuss the science behind mask mandates with a Harvard professor. They would welcome that. But they hated it. So they just pulled the whole thing off YouTube. Here's part of what they refuse to let you hear.
Dr. Gupta mentioned about, not putting masks on kids. That's not effective, not necessary. Martin Calder, do you agree in school there's no need for them to be wearing face masks?
Children should not wear face masks, no. They don't need it for their own protection, and they don't need it for protecting other people either.
Jay?
I think schools, how do you teach a child to read with face masks on Zoom?
So that's now banned. Scientists talking about science. Those aren't scientists anymore, they're now dissidents. How is this happening? Well, it happens because we allow it to happen. Because we buy into their demands, because we internalize their standards. If you decide to burn an American flag in a public park tomorrow, how would they respond to that? Well, of course, they would applaud. That's your First Amendment right. You'd be fighting the tyranny of the people who created this horrifying country. How, by contrast, would they respond if you burned a pile of surgical masks in a public park tomorrow? They probably wouldn't like it, but that's your right, too. Matt Walsh is host of The Matt Walsh Show, and we are honored to have him on tonight, as we always are when he joins us.